I've seen one thing, sir, not like, for example, China, it's not selling the 5th generation to anybody yet.
Yeah.
They're talking about giving it to Pakistan, and
Yeah.
the Pakistani media is making a hue and cry.
Yeah.
But it's not coming to Pakistan anytime soon, sir. The impression across the world as far as Chinese goods is concerned is not very good, sir. So people say that, it might look nice, etc., but Chinese stuff does not last. We've also discussed doctrine, sir. You mentioned, doctrine makes a lot of difference. My specific question is, you have 2 5th generation platforms with China. And the way China is churning it out, sir. What is our solution? Because AMCA is going to take 10 to 15 years. Sir.
Yeah, correct.
So 4 years for the prototype, sir.
Yeah.
And then the Air Force will have an opinion. Obviously, they are the end users, sir. The Air Force is going to say that I don't like this. Please change it or whatever. And maybe this could be modified. So then they get into production after a decade.
Yeah.
And once they get into production, sir, and let's say we own the engine technology, and let's say we take Safran or we take GE or whatever we want to take, sir, and we have that capability. So safely speaking, a productive squadron, 18 aircraft to a squadron, 5th generation AMCA, knowing our past, I'm not very hopeful before 15 years. So people are saying 10, मुझे नहीं लगता, मुझे लगता है 14-15 साल लगेंगे इनको सर. और जब तक हम 5th generation लेकर आएंगे, तब तक Chinese would have moved to the 6th generation.
Correct.
कितनी asymmetry बढ़ जाएगी तब तक?
Yeah.
And what should we do, sir?
Correct. So, Gaurav, you put in 4 or 5 aspects to it.
Sir.
And if I start talking on each, 10 minutes will take us 1 hour.
So please go ahead, sir.
So, I'll not bore the audience in 1 hour.
No, it's very interesting, sir. Please.
Be cryptic. You started with the Chinese aircraft 4th and 5th generation, and then 6th generation, and reliability issues.
Sir.
And Pakistan you mentioned. So interesting thing is, as I said earlier, all the countries are making 2 types of versions. One for domestic consumption, one for export purposes.
Sir.
So Chinese, there are 2 aspects to it. One is they're not opening up. They were trying export. They've realized. See, defense market, what happens is, what we are also trying Aatmanirbharta, but domestic market is limited here. So if you want to really establish your defense, you have to go out. You have to start like what we are talking, instead of make in India, now we are saying make for the world.
Sure.
So export capability has to come in. Now Chinese, there are
हमारे तो खुद पूरे नहीं पड़ रहे.
वो तो बाद में बात करते हैं. Let's talk about China now.
Sure.
Now China is in a double mind at the moment. On one hand, he wants to export. He wants to open up. Now unka J31 if you take, there's no buyers outside. So Pakistan is desperately wants it. The JF Thunder 17, which they bought, JF17, they have got a lot of problems with it. Engine problems, this, that, keeps coming out in media, grounded for some reason or the other. Like you talked about reliability.
Yes, there's a dead duck, sir.
Now,
not
J31, Pakistan wants it desperately. They'll have 5th generation, so called, whatever it is. And China, it helps in opening up the market for them, that they have exported it to this thing, and the value of J31 goes up, that at least it is exported to some country.
Yes, sir.
Now that is a dilemma now. The one side is this, that it opens up the market, and he'll start export orders from other countries and all. Maybe he'll start selling cheaper. The second side of it is his technology, his capabilities will get exposed to the world. So whether it is actually worth it or not, that will come out in this thing. So that is where it stands with China. It's in 2 minds, whether to export, not to export. Okay, that is one part of it. Now you talked about asymmetry and all. I said earlier, they have a very established defense market.
Yes, sir.
Defense industry, I'll say, ecosystem. And by whatever means, by reverse engineering and by industrial espionage, they've established it, but they're established. So they are capable of generating, platform, and not only in the air domain, in the sea domain, and the land domain, they have good established this thing. In the air domain, engines, they're still struggling. Avionics, they're doing well. Okay, platforms, they're doing well. But as an integrated package, whether it is capable or not, what is the survivability, what is the maintainability and reliability is doubtful and questioned. Then we talked about tactics and training and doctrine, strategy, all these aspects, morale. Okay, experience. Okay, that is where they're lacking, but they're trying to rectify it by opening out, doing exercises with other countries rather than only in Pakistan. Okay, then Doklam I mentioned, we were observing them. They are gradually building up the capabilities, and where they never used to venture earlier, they started venturing and doing things which, so obviously they are in a planned manner overcoming whatever the shortcomings are. Then we talked about T3 advantage. So if you see, they are making a whole lot of these dual-use airfields all along Tibet Plateau, as well as
Yes,
north, east, center sector and eastern sector. And dual-use where the civil as well as military both can operate
Correct,
and need be. So they are trying to overcome that. So their modernization process in a very, very organized manner.
Even the decision-making process is faster, sir.
And as we said earlier, so what is happening is in the race with the US, they are moving ahead of us at a very fast pace. And their vassal state, Pakistan, who's behind us, they are bringing him also along. So they are catching up with us. So if you want to maintain symmetry, or if you want to maintain that semblance of this thing, we have gone into 4th or 5th gear. We need to go into 6th or 7th gear because of whatever delay.
What does that mean, sir? 7th gear mein kya hoga?
What it means is, simple terms, two. Very, very simple in 2 sentences. What it means is, we need to give a big boost to our Aatmanirbharta. That is a long-term solution. And secondly, while doing this, we need to maintain our minimum deterrence capability, if required, by procuring from outside. And in nutshell, what it means is, we need to spend money on defense and not get into the debate of butter versus gun.
Uske bina nahi hoga, sir.
That is what it means in simple 2 sentences.
Simple terms.